1965. That was a really good year for music. In the quiet, small little railroad town of Wartrace, Tennessee, a furniture maker began building guitars. J.W. Gallagher was a furniture maker, and then after some time in the military learned to be a machinist, came back to his hometown of Wartrace and began building furniture again. A nearby factory wanted him to help them create an assembly line to build retail guitars, which was quite the rage at that time. But J.W., he was used to building Queen Anne style furniture. And so he caught the bug for building guitars, but he did not want to build plywood guitars. So J.W. and his son Don, in some respects, really became the first boutique guitar builders in the U.S. And you could say the Tennessee flat top box was really built by the Gallaghers. After 55 years plus of building guitars, in 2019, Gallagher Guitars took a short pause as they handed off ownership to us to be able to continue the legacy. And so we moved a short way down the tracks to Murfreesboro, Tennessee to set up shop. And in the shop, we were able to bring the old equipment, many pieces that had been designed and built by J.W. and were still in use. We brought the old guitar molds and forms and tools, as well as 55 years of guitar building experience. Some of the former luthiers came and helped us set up, and then we've added additional luthiers that also have learned the Gallagher way of doing things. We still make a top-notch dreadnought that any player would be proud to own. We've also expanded, and we're really excited about some of our new offerings. Over the years, a lot of different artists have owned and played Gallaghers. Neil Diamond, Joe Bonamassa, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Zach Brown, Chris Jones, Jim Hurst, and on we could go. That also includes our very own J.P. Cormier. No doubt we're best known for the relationship between Doc and Merle Watson and Gallagher Guitars. And as Merle Travis said about Doc's famous G50, it rings like a bell. So we're pleased that JP and his friends are going to provide us a show of Doc Watson songs. And they're going to recreate the mood and the music in a way that is deserving of Doc's legacy. Gallagher Guitars is proud to sponsor this event. Doc's music and his guitars still ring true today. Enjoy the show.
Dig a little deeper in the well, boys, dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys, dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Well, my daddy used to tell me, don't be fooled by what you see. If you want to get to the heart of things, you gotta look way down deep. Well, second place don't get it, son. A winner's gotta come in first. There's nothing worse than to take a drink that leaves you with a thirst. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys. Dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys. Dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Well, a good man needs a new woman. She's a rock that'll make you strong. She'll be there to lean on when the whole world's going wrong. Well, there ain't nothing like good loving. That's how it's meant to be. To find yourself a good woman, son, like your mama's been to me. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys. Dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys. Dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. mighty flowing river where the water is cool and sweet. Don't be fooled by a muddy stream, be careful where you drink. Well, life is what you make it, sometimes it's a living hell. If you want to find that promised land, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys, dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. Dig a little deeper in the well, boys, dig a little deeper in the well. If you want a good cool drink of water, you gotta dig a little deeper in the well. When I first saw Doc Watson live, I was 13 years old, and he came to Halifax and played at the Dalhousie University in the Rebecca Cohen Auditorium. And I bought a record that night, a record I'd never seen before. I had lots of Doc's albums, but I had never saw this one. It was called Doc and Merle's Guitar Album. And this was one of the sets of tunes on it. And it's something I've played all my life. Matter of fact, I'm not even so sure he put these two tunes together. I'm putting them together just because they fit. But I can still remember seeing those guys on stage, and Merle wasn't with them that night. Jack Lawrence was with them that night. Merle was off the road for some reason. And boy, I can still remember Doc playing this tune and just smoking it. And it's something I was sitting center stage about 6 rows back. Could see everything he was doing. It absolutely altered my life. So this is the set that came out of that, Texas Gales and Billy in the Low Ground. Ready? Yep. This song comes from the catalog of Doc's immense love for music you wouldn't expect. This is an old folk song, but Doc delivered it in a way that was not folk, almost country or pop or something. He had a way of just always choosing the right material, and I had it on an album called, a double album set called The Essential Doc Watson. And it was a studio recording, even though there was a lot of live recordings on those records. This one was just him and an upright bass, and it just stuck in my head forever. And being Canadian, the name of the song I associated with being Canadian, although he's talking about a woman, and her name is Alberta. 2, 3. Alberta, let your hair hang low. I saw her first on an April morn as she walked through the mist in a field of hay. Her hair lit the world with its golden glow, and the smile on her face burned my heart away. Alberta, why let your hair hang low? Alberta, let your hair hang low. I'll give you more gold than your apron can hold if you'll only let your hair hang low. I thought my golden time would last, but the field of hay was soon cut down. In a short few weeks it all was past, and my golden girl just a painful song. Alberta, what's on your mind? Alberta, what's on your mind? My heart is so sad 'cause you treat me so bad. Alberta, what's on your mind? Alberta, let your hair hang low. This next one is right off a live album that Doc and the boys put out that was actually nominated and won, if I'm not mistaken, a Grammy for Instrumental Performance of the Year. And of course it was in fine Doc fashion. He took a pair of tunes, Big Sandy River and Leather Breeches, and put them together as only he could. And yeah, this is a fun one to play. Boys, I'm going to tell you what. We earned all of our pay with that last one. I love Doc's guitar playing so much, and this is another tune that came off that Essential collection. And of course, he played this one, of course, with Merle. Merle was just a kid then, strumming rhythm with his thumb, and he was amazing even then. And here was Doc playing this tune on a 12-string guitar, as clean and fast as you could possibly get it. And hearing him play the B side of this tune, the Beaumont Rag, changed my life forever, because it was completely done in cross-picking. And I don't think that anybody ever cross-picked better than Doc Watson. The delivery was just unbelievable. The facility he had and the economy of movement and all the things that he did were just so good to listen to. So here it is, our take on the Beaumont Rag. In my early 20s, I started to discover a whole new batch of Watson's recordings. And there was one that came out that had a number of tremendously good tunes on it, stuff like Twin Sisters and just stuff that captured my imagination 100%. And one of the ones, I think it was the first song on the album, was this song right here. And it was something, I'd always heard Doc sing novelty songs, but this one was just classic. I had to learn it immediately because there were so many funny lines in it. And there was a lot of really nice picking. And his voice was getting a little older on this recording, and it was, when I first heard this record, I hadn't heard any of the newer recordings at that time, and I thought, wow, his voice is getting, his voice got, I don't know how to describe it. It seemed to age well with him. And I remember the last time I ever saw him play and sing, and he was 85 or 84 or 5 years old. Still sounded the same as he did when I first discovered it. And but this song here, I had to do this one, and this poor guy in this tune, I don't know, he spent 15 cents, and he wishes that during the whole song that he'd never spent it. 15 cents. Well, I left my home in Tennessee, and I thought I'd learn to travel, but then I met a pretty little girl, and soon we played the devil. Well, I loved that gal, and she loved me, and I thought we lived together, but then we tied the fatal knot, and now I'm gone forever. Give me back my 15 cents, give me back my money. Give me back my 15 cents and I'll go home to Mammy. It was 15 cents for the preacher man and $1 for the paper. Then dear old mother-in-law moved in and lordy, what a caper. I fiddled a tune for her one day, she called me joker. Then that old sow got mad at me and hit me with the poker. Give me back my 15 cents, give me back my money. Give me back my 15 cents and I'll go home to Mammy. Well, I worked in town and I worked on the farm, but there's no way to suit 'em. They're both so dad-burn mean to me, somebody ought to shoot 'em. I'm tired of looking at my mother-in-law, I'd like to see my granny. Gonna leave the state of Arkansas and go back home to Mammy. Give me back my 15 cents, give me back my money. Give me back my 15 cents and I'll go home to Mammy.
Doc was a master of the story song, and I have sang many of his songs over my career because the stories they told were just incredible. And this is one of them. And I know he got this from his childhood. And when I hear him sing this live at the first Newport Folk Festival in I think it was 1966, under the tent there, you can hear the crowd murmuring, and you can almost feel how cold it is in the tent. It's nighttime, and he actually mentions his hands are cold. And he sings this song, and it's one of the most just heartbreaking performances I've ever heard. And we're going to try it for you, The Little Orphan Girl.
No home, said a little girl at the door of a rich man's home. She trembling stood on the marble steps and leaned on the polished wall. Her clothes were thin and her feet were bare, and the snowflakes covered her head. Let me come in, she feebly said. Please give me a little bread. As the little girl still trembling stood before that rich man's door, with a frowning face he scornfully said, no room, no bread for the poor. Then the rich man went to his table so fine, where he and his family were fed, and the orphan stood in the snow so deep as she cried for a piece of bread. Oh, the rich man slept on his velvet couch, and he dreamed of his silver and gold, while the orphan lay in a bed of snow and murmured, so cold, so cold. Oh, the hours rolled on through the midnight storm, rolled on like a funeral bell, and the sleet came down in a blinding sheet, and the drifting snow still fell. When morning came, the little girl still lay at the rich man's door, but her soul had fled away to its home, where there's room and there's bread for the poor.
There could be no Doc Watson without this tune. This is the first thing I ever heard him play, and it was from the same field recording that the Orphan Girl was taken from, his performance at Newport in 1966. I believe it was the year. And he played this tune all by himself on the sixth string, and you could just hear the audience, their jaws falling down on their chests and onto the ground and everywhere else, when they just were bathed in the technique that this man had for playing fiddle tunes. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. And to this day, I was just saying to the boys, who I'm going to introduce to you right now as well, that there really isn't anybody like Doc Watson. And we've been having a great time here doing this show for Doc and for Gallagher Guitars in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. David and all the crew down there have just been tremendous people to deal with, and they love music, and they love these guitars, and they love guitar in general, which puts them in my good books, because that's what this channel's all about. And so I want to introduce the guys that are playing with me. You've been watching them now for about a half an hour, 40 minutes, and they're tearing it up over here. Over to my far right is one of the premier flat pickers in all of Nova Scotia, Mr. Jeff Noss. Big hand for Jeff. We call him Hoss, Nos the Hoss. And the man in the middle, who's taken T. Michael Coleman's place, and one of the very best bass players I've ever worked with in my life, Mr. Daryl Hibb, playing that nice jazz bass. And these two guitars, this is the G70 that I ordered last summer and had delivered to me. And over there that Jeff is playing, that's a Doc Watson model, G50. All mahogany, and mine's rosewood. And I love these guitars, of course. It's been my dream to own a G70 all my life. And yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. This show, we're far from done yet. We still got 5 or 6 more things we want to do for you. And just take a break to say, if you want to support us and help us here in the channel, if you can, feel free to send us a donation to through Interact Transfer at jpcormier38@gmail.com, or you can send it to PayPal at paypal.me/jpcormiermusic if you're feeling so inclined. You like what we're doing. But right now, we're going to play for you the tune I was talking about at the beginning of this long divergence here, the immortal Black Mountain Rag. Paid by the note on that one, or what?
I think it's like the 7 or 8 different types of timing.
Well, along about 1825, I left Tennessee very much alive. Well, I never would have got through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding on the Tennessee stud. Well, I had some trouble with my sweetheart's pa. One of her brothers was a bad outlaw. Well, I sent her a letter by my Uncle Fudd, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. Well, the Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee stud. Well, we drifted on down into no man's land, across that river called the Rio Grande. Well, I raced my horse with the Spaniards full, till I got me a skin full of silver and gold. Me and a gambler, we couldn't agree, we got in a fight over Tennessee. Well, we jerked our guns and he fell with a thud, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. Well, the Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He
He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee Stud. Well, I got just as lonesome as a man can be, dreaming of a girl in Tennessee. Well, the Tennessee Stud dreams I turned blue, 'cause he was a dreaming of a sweetheart too. We loped right back across Arkansas. I whipped her brother and I beat up her pa. When I found that girl with the golden hair, and she was a-riding on the Tennessee mare. Well, the Tennessee Stud was long and lean, the color of the sun in his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee Stud. Well, stirrup to syrup and side by side, across the valleys and the mountains wide. We came to Big Muddy and we forded a flood on the Tennessee mare and the Tennessee Stud. Well, the pretty little baby on the cabin floor and a little hoss court playing round the door. I love that girl with the golden hair, and the Tennessee Stud loves the Tennessee mare. These good horses. Well, the Tennessee Stud was long and lean, the color of the sun and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee Stud. One of the things I loved to hear more than anything was Doc and Merle flat picking guitars in harmony. And this set right here has all of that. Check this out. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. It's so mean, it's so my, ain't nobody to go my bill. Was late last night when Willie came home. I heard him rapping on the door. He
was slipping and sliding with his new shoes on. Papa said, Willie, don't you rap no more. Way downtown, fooling around, but took me to the gym. It's so mean and so mine, ain't no one to go by Bill. Take another one. Wish I was over at my sweet Sally's house, sitting in that big armchair, with one arm around the soul guitar and another one around my dear. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. It's so mean, it's so mine, and no one to go my bill. Just one old shirt is about all I've got, and $1 is all that I crave. Didn't take nothing with me into this old world, ain't gonna bring nothing to my grave. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. It's so mean and so mine, ain't no one to go my bill. They took me to the jail. It's so mean, it's so mine, ain't no one to go my bill. It's so mean, it's so mine, ain't no one to go my bill. Oh my God, help us. It was good. So we want to thank everybody for watching this premiere video. And it was a long time in the making. I had spoken to David at Gallagher a long time ago about doing this, and it sat in the hopper and in our heads for a long time, and we both love Doc so much. And doing this music for me is like being, 12 years old again. And it's something that never left me. I've played his music pretty well my whole life. It was the first flat picker I ever heard and the first flat picker I ever tried to copy. So there's nothing more to be said. Doc Watson was the best flat picker that ever held a pick, and he's the granddaddy of us all. He influenced so many players, and it doesn't matter who you talk to, whether would have been Tony Rice or Dan Crary or me or Jeff, it doesn't matter who you talk to. Doc Watson was the father of this style of music. And I don't know what to say to everybody at Gallagher Guitars in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Thank you so much for being part of this and allowing us and helping us to do it with these tremendous instruments. Don't forget to go visit their website, and you'll see them linked to all the videos I do on this channel anyway, so anytime you want to go visit them online, feel free. They'll build you a
the guitar of your dreams, trust me. So this reminds me of Doc, just hearing it. So we're going to do one famous medley of his that he called Salt River, or Salt Creek, but Salt River, and that good old Billy Cheatham. Good night, and thank you one and all for being with us here tonight. From myself, Mr. Jeff Noss, and Daryl Hebb, and from Gallagher Guitars. And somewhere, we hope, the doctor watching down on us. We'll see you next time.